y'all doing today? Am I hearable? Speaking of goats, I need to make a short trip to close a door in the barn. The wind is picking up. Hello, honey Amazon. Yeah, my goats, despite having plenty of access to shelter, are absolutely refusing to use it whatsoever. Hello to Limelight Productions. It is, I think, just turning over into afternoon here. I've blocked off all of my screens, so I can't actually tell what time it is. It is 12:14 here, so... I am audible. Excellent. As long as I am not owned by Amazon. So anyone who didn't make it yesterday, this game is extremely difficult. I have beat the easiest, I don't know, goal quest on the easiest setting somewhat regularly. This, however, is the hardest quest, and even on the easiest setting, I have never beat it. And it does, in fact, involve getting eaten by a bear. And that's assuming you even make it to the bear. Things were going a little bit better than they usually are at this stage for this game. Or for this quest. So I'm gonna continue to hope that you guys make better decisions than I do. And or that you are good luck. And we're gonna find out whether or not I get eaten by a bear. I believe we are on day 11, I want to say. But it does sometimes kick me back when I go to continue, so let's find out. Limelight Productions, how are you today? I always hope that good afternoon, good morning means that things are going good, but... Nom nom nom. Yeah, I was trying to decide whether or not I could make jokes about, you being here and my being eaten by the bear, but... I figured someone was going to get real crass with that real quick. Okay, so it has in fact allowed me to finish off day 11, so we are on day 12. And we need to repair some damage from overnight, apparently. Luckily, it just seems to have gotten snowed up. It doesn't seem to have actually taken too much damage, so that's good. Our mushrooms are going bad, so we should do something with those. The one thing that does make me pretty good about at this game is that I really hate waste of all kinds. So, ooh, whoops, nope, never mind. I thought we could bring that fire up a little bit, but we cannot. Okay, so snares are the only thing we haven't built here. Blankets and a better cover have not been built here. I think we probably need to work on the medical section, because one of the things that gets me in this game all the time is I end up hurt constantly. So, I think I'm gonna need more supplies first, though. So I guess we're gonna cross our fingers, hope that, the supplies hold out. Oh, something rotted. Oh, and we have lots of meat. Oh, let's see. Decisions. Okay, this will allow me to dry the meat so it doesn't go to waste. It will also allow me to dry the mushrooms so they don't go to waste. So... that then means I'm going to end up spending almost this entire turn smoking food, though. Oh well, so be it. I can't have things going to waste, so... there we go. Now the dried mushrooms, at least, will not go bad, and will continue to hold on for a bit longer. Hey, Eraser. Man. I'm not going to end up being able to do anything except filter water and cook. Oh, this is frustrating. This is going to be a real fast day, because it's going to be food preservation and not much else. Hey, Davyverse! I don't know if help's coming. Actually, it's been like 12... Wow, we're on day 12, so it's been a lot more than... Yeah. Yep, it's been a bit. The first stage of this one is that... Can I do this? I could use the morale. I can do that. Sweet. The first stage of this is that the rebels or terrorists or whatever you want to call them, end up getting really close, so it becomes very difficult to actually gather resources. The second stage is that you get chased by wolves, and then the third stage is the bear. The bear really is a boss fight. It's like the rest of it you just have to kind of survive, and you know, it's just a matter of organizing your resources well. The bear is an entirely different thing. That is a true boss fight. You get worn down to nothing, and then he eats you. Okay, Legatus, you were the first one in chat, so you get to pick the topic. Anna is freezing, marauders, a real lady, smell of conflict, or anthropological lecture. And then I have to wait for the lag to catch up, which always seems to me to take forever. Uh-oh. I hear the sounds of animals getting into things that they are not supposed to get into. Eraser says tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. Legatus, are you still here, or have you... You did say you were lurking, mostly. I'm sorry. I probably should have remembered that. So... Kermodo Bear, are you done with goats? Are you back? Can you make choices for us? Maybe I should start at the bottom and work my way up this time. Oh, Legatus is still here. Okay. Can you make a decision for us? Which topic would you like? No choices for you. Oh, sadness. Okay. I was going to have you make the second one either way, so... But I guess if you won't be here, that won't work. Were the goats okay in the wind? Okay, Anna is cold. Very sad. Yeah, Anna is kind of a whiny bitch, too. Can we add more wood to the fire? I can't stand this cold anymore. Trying to message. Okay. No problem. If you feel like making the next one, Legatus, you are totally welcome to. It'll pretty much be the same decisions, except they'll add a new one in, so. Do you think that Alexi would support our neighborhood drunk or Anna? As far as putting more wood on the fire. And welcome, Bormac. Not sure you've been here before, so. More wood on the fire, yes or no? Poor person gets here for the first time and immediately it has, like, decisions heaped upon them. Bear dragged me in. Legata says not Anna. We don't care whether or not there's wood on the fire, we just care that it's not Anna. Okay. Yeah, Anna is very unlikable. That's true. We'd better use the gathered wood to expand the campsite. Expansion, do you still have the strength to swing the hammer? There is no feeling in my hands. Which is funny, since she's the only one with a coat. The palisade will protect us from the wind and the seats and the ceiling of the shelter from frost. It will protect if we live to see the morning. Delicate lady sigh. Alright. Complaining will do nothing now. We will expand the shelter in the morning. Or wood is crucial. We can't afford to waste it. This is Help Will Come Tomorrow. It is the only game with simple enough graphics that my poor, sad system that I have now will run. It is quite fun, and it's nice to have a game where I can kind of just pick up and leave if, for instance, animals are getting into things they shouldn't. And I like the music, so... But it is incredibly difficult. I think I once tried playing on the medium difficulty level, and that lasted about 3 days and I died, so... Alright, what are we making for choices here? Complaining will do nothing now, we will expand the shelter in the morning, or wood is crucial, we can't afford to waste it. Bormac, I am very glad that you were dragged. I hope that you will also be glad that you were dragged at some point. If nothing else, when I get eaten by the bear. I think perhaps Bormac was dragged in and ran away again. Okay, which choice would you like? You or Legatus, either way. I'm happy. I'm happy as long as someone else is making the decisions, because music is a very important factor for me when choosing a game. To be perfectly honest, I usually just turn music off. I tend to find it very repetitive and very annoying. But this I do like, so. And dragged is a drag queen. Oh, dear. Alright, I'm just gonna make a decision, because we're apparently not getting one, so... Complaining will do nothing now. We will expand the shelter in the morning. I'd like to believe you. Alright. Davyverse, Prince Charmless, Smell of Conflict, A Real Lady, How to Survive Here, or Undercutting the Branch. What is your choice, sir? On the topic of Drag Rail Lady. Undercut that branch. Alright. Do you know what is wrong with the Bolsheviks? Is something wrong with them? Would you like to see the return of Tsarism as well? Give me just a moment. The dog apparently would like to go out. Okay, sorry about that. He is a very old dog, so when he says he needs to go out right now. I will tell you then, the private Germans we are fighting with are also socialists for the most part, and they come to the front as a result of widespread mobilization, not bloodlust. And yet each of them, without exception, has a portrait of the emperor with him, whether on a cigarette case, on a piece of paper, or a medallion. They put the interests of their nation higher than parties, idealists, and even private desires. Even as socialists, they consider themselves primarily Germans. Hence, the honor to Emperor Wilhelm and respect for his merits. Russian socialists want to reject nationalities and radicalize. They are ready to sacrifice their own state, that is, cut the branch they are sitting on, in the name of a utopian idea. Okay, questions. Do you sympathize with the Germans? Or, after all, a branch can be cut if one comes off it? I have done this one. I find it the most confusing of the historical discussions. So I have never figured out what the right answer is to get through this. So, do we sympathize with Germans, or a branch can be cut if one comes off it? With the Germans, okay. Do you sympathize with Germans? Well, one could expect the worst from you, but this is unbelievable. This takes place during World War I, by the way. So Russia and Germany aren't getting along very well right now. I am far from liking the Prussians. It's more respect for the enemy and aversion to Bolshevik anarchy. Oh, all right. That is definitely the best result I have ever gotten from that run-through, so good job. Camp morale is going down a little bit, though, so we're going to need to try and improve that some. Usually at this stage, camp morale is kind of at the top and stays there. The question is how? Which Germans? I'm just teasing. I assume the Prussian Germans. Yeah. Alright, I think I'm going to send out an Ooh. That's a lot of bad guys. I'm going to send out an expedition. We're going to send them with a bow. Let's see if we can shoot this little... I have to say, I have had the worst luck hunting in this game. Oh, good. Okay, I did get that one. But yeah, normally I'm pretty good at hunting in this game, and wow, it's been bad. It has just not gone well at all. But this is what I mean, like, I'm not getting very many supplies. And, it's getting a little difficult to build things because I don't have sticks or rocks or the things I need in order to make everything work. Yeah, I'm not even finding areas that have sticks. And I have found more poisonous mushrooms than I think ever. Oh, maybe I can get that rabbit while I'm at it. Yeah, that's like the 4th rabbit I've missed. Rabbit hunting, it is not rabbit season for me. I don't know why this game is quite insistent on me picking up mold. It seems very weird. My loss probability is getting kind of high. I'm going to return to camp. I'll use their last couple of moves to skin those animals. Which might give me enough fabric to make coats for everyone else, too. That should up morale. Da. I'm definitely going to build up the med area at least one level before I do that, though. Reduce character's freezing level, use an object from the tool. This doesn't seem to do a whole lot. I guess we'll go for this one. Oh, that quarantine point is in terrible shape. Look at that. 2 levels on the quarantine done. Okay, so, whoops, somebody got hurt. That is also frustrating. That means that her last point is going to have to go towards dressing the wound. Infection is... Hello, pirates. I have not yet met the bear. We are still in the early stages where I can get shot by terrorists instead. And then I have to avoid getting eaten by wolves. And then, if I'm super lucky, I will still be around to get eaten by the bear. Because, you know, everybody's got to have a hobby. Alright, I got one dude I got left to feed here. Well, these are gonna go bad soon, so let's give him some berries. Oh, apparently he didn't even need that many. Okay. Can we make some coats? Alright. One of his negatives is that he has a tendency to screw things up, so luckily he does not appear to have done so. So now we have 2 more people with jackets. So only 1 more. And then they should all be nice and toasty. Alright, that's kind of record time for 2 days. Pirate, since you're here, you want to make some Oops, never mind, hang on a second. A terrible gale has started before dark. Snow and broken branches are flying in the air, and you are running frantically around the camp securing your belongings. A tree has fallen nearby. Not good. On the shallow soil, the roots of all trees grow in width and tangle badly. If one falls, it weakens all the others around. With these gusts, you are afraid one of the larches may crush your camp. Okay, so, Pirate, you get to make a decision for us. Ye wretched of the earth, a real lady, smell of conflict, marauders, or anthropological lecture. Which one would you like? Hey, Wormy! Wormy, once Pirate has made the choice on this one, you can make the next one. I think Pirate has left us. Wormy, you want to pick one? Do I want a festive goat in a Santa outfit? Not especially? It's not even Thanksgiving! You could give me a goat in a turkey outfit. Like, a goat in a turkey costume might be kind of funny. I'm one of those people that, ain't a no. What? And no, we don't do... Oh, that's right. I forgot. You're on the wrong side of the pond. Well, that explains it. Yeah, I'm one of those people that really hates Christmas music before Thanksgiving's even over with. I can only do one thing at a time. Okay, smell of conflict. Oh, there you go again. What's that, Gregory? You're moving away from me again. You don't want to sit next to me. I'm not offended, but don't pretend you don't despise my company. I'm not insulting you at all, or you are vulgar. What do we think? Alright. It's Anna. Is she picking fights, or has she finally learned some manners? Uncle Martin sucks at gaming, got a Santa suit. Well, I mean, you have to understand that by the time I do next week's Slice and Dice, I will... Let me think. Yeah, it'll be past Thanksgiving, so then I can start worrying about Christmas. Uncle Martin sucks at gaming, not by choice. Uncle Martin as a turkey could be funny, too. I mean, turkeys are great. I don't understand why we don't eat more turkey. It's delicious. Okay, folks. Help me with the decisions here. Not insulting you at all, or you are vulgar. Never was what? Little bland? Turkey? You're eating the wrong turkeys. Alright, I'm just gonna pick you are vulgar. Please don't expect me to be delighted with the company of a man who is talking rudely in the company of a woman. I have never had smoked turkey except like deli meat, which I think is disgusting. Maybe I am carried away, or maybe you are too delicate, miss. But let's be honest, you don't like my company. Well, how to say it? You smell. In these conditions, none of us maintains personal hygiene like in the court. Ha! You smell of vodka, or I care about your health. No, the point, Wormy, is you're supposed to go through one whole round, except nobody stuck around long enough this time. I think people just kind of are throwing answers out this time. But that's fine. I was originally doing it kind of in rounds so that everyone would kind of get a chance, but... And to try and coax out some of the lurkers, to be honest. Vodka. I mean your breath. You smell of booze. Some warm up by the fire. Others, well, you throw a lot of wood for burning. When the fuel runs out, you will be the first to ask for a sip of something to warm you up. Certainly not from you. In Moscow, they drink lemonade with cognac, saying it's champagne. I guarantee you will drink pure vodka here, miss. Praising and asking about the year. Well, apparently the overall camp morale increased on that one. Probably because no one else likes Santa either. Okay, Bad Apple, Prince Charmless, A Real Lady, Anthropological Lecture, or Rationality. Seems like people aren't following your arbitrary rules. Well, like I said, I was trying to kind of coax in people who were lurking, but I'm fine. I'm honestly not that caught up in much of anything, really. Okay, Bad Apple, Prince Charmless, A Real Lady, Rationality, or Anthropological Lecture. I might have some very exciting news. Wormy's gonna beat the lurkers later. Hey, Dadman, welcome! I am just as happy to have lurkers as anyone else, and I don't want you texting while driving. Not that I, am not guilty of it occasionally. But, obviously not, because that would be illegal. Cheap party drink I learned from a boss in Germany. Cheapest white wine from those boxes mixed with the cheapest soft drink you can find. Huh. Yes, the GOAT PC Fund. So the GOAT PC Fund is pretty close to wrapping up. And if it gets wrapped up by the end of the week... Lecture, okay? If it gets wrapped up by the end of the week, I'm going to do... Once I get it set up, I'm going to do an extra long gaming stream with the Naked Goat. You don't want to see my voice chat? Lord knows what will come out. So has everybody heard the story about the Naked Goat? Yes, we know the scurvy. We need fresh meat. Was there any teachings at the university on how to make traps? That's very strange. Scurvy doesn't come from meat. When it comes to getting food, I have learned many techniques of primitive people in the lectures on anthropology. Then why didn't you say anything about it? Davyverse, are you telling me you didn't hear about the Naked Goat? My knowledge is rather theoretical. I listened to the lecture and read books. I have never tried to assemble snares myself. Or maybe you can give us a lecture, as if we were at the university. Well, actually, first we need to determine the size of the game we want to catch. Let's consider a perfectly spherical hare moving at a constant speed. We will skip friction for now. This will be a long night. She thought she was making a joke. Okay, so Davyverse, I was prepping to do a game stream for when I got the computer, and I asked ChatGPT to turn my avatar, which you've seen with the green suit and everything, into a gaming goat. And it drew me naked. So the goat now is wearing nothing except gaming headphones and holding the controller in front of my goatee bits. Sorry to make you waste tea. But yeah, for considering that it refuses to even, draw goats that aren't incredibly hideous these days, I was quite shocked. Anthropomorphic goat in Thanksgiving attire. I will say you are better with the ChatGPT than I am. Okay, that is great. I am very amused by that. If everybody gets a chance, check out the goat as a turkey. More new people, excellent. Unrequited goat porn. Unintentional might be a better way to put it. Yeah, it was just so bizarre that I am notorious for, like, you know, I'll ask ChatGPT something and then I try and, like, ask it questions about its process. And so I asked why it was that all of a sudden I was getting nothing except, like, really ugly brown options every time I looked for a female figure. But men it will do just fine. And what it said was that the controls on attractiveness have been or on sexuality have been cranked up. So it can't do anything that might be deemed too sexy. And because in women, beauty and sexuality are so closely aligned, it has to overcorrect and can only draw ugly women. That's what it told me. Goat, make a baseline first. I have an alarming amount of AI art in the chinwaggers just to make a baseline. Alright. So things are looking fairly stable. Oh, let's find out if he can... Do we have enough materials for him to make one more coat? I ran out of turns last time, not out of materials, so I think we can be fully coated. What the fuck? I had to stop and pull the car over to respond to that one. The fact that there is now a naked goat out there? Is that what we're referencing? So yeah, I decided, okay, that means you guys also missed the joke that I told last night. So I told my husband that I was going to use the naked goat avatar for my first stream if I managed to get enough for the computer by the end of the week. And his comment was, for the day, you then have to name your avatar Lady Goat Diva. Am I going to play Fear and Hunger 2 in a near future? I am not familiar. I have several games that people have donated to me that I promised to take a look at. And the agreement originally when people first started donating to this was that they wanted me to run through the entire Diablo series, 1 to 3. So I am probably going to at least do those. It's going to depend a little bit on how many people are watching and when. But Diablo will definitely be in the rotation. This War of Mine was a game that was donated. That'll be in the rotation. 10 Miles to Safety will be in the rotation. And probably when I'm having a really bad day, the Unnamed Goose game, so I can cause some destruction. Other than that, I haven't really made any decisions on much of anything. I have to kind of get to know the new computer and figure out what exactly it is I'm doing. I'm sure there's going to be a certain amount of learning curve. My computer is 16 years old. I am sure there's going to be all sorts of programming I have to learn all over again, so... plus there's some software I need, so I'm gonna have to, you know, buy and install all that. And it's gonna be fun! Hello, Jill! Of the Anti-Derivativeness. How are you? She missed the conversation about the naked goat. Alright, we are gonna have this dude filter me a bunch of water, and then we're gonna have the lady cook a bunch of food. Jill, I'm sorry to say I have not been eaten by the bear yet. We're still hanging in there. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. And we don't have enough mushrooms. Darn it. Well, garlic it is. Holy shit, what are you running Windows Vista? No, the computer did get updated. It's, well, it's running Windows 7. So I got updated that far. But yeah, I bought that computer, and not only did I buy it 16 years ago, I bought it super cheap. Like, it was not top of the line even then. I have replaced and updated a couple of things since. But yeah, it's been... It is definitely due for retirement. AI be like that, it'll take me less than a minute to generate that locally, but add some modesty. That's the tricky... See, that's the thing. I'm using ChatGPT, and it's no longer doing anything but modesty. I don't... Like, somehow there's been a lot of changes to how it works, I guess, because, yeah, it used to, You're like a Vampire the Masquerade that just woke up from torpor. Are you referencing the fact that I am, like, so out of date? Is that what we're is that what we're talking about? Yes, I'm an antique. That's all there is to it. I have a third spot. I've gotten to the point where if there are only two that need sleep, I put Anna in it. Just because I like to imagine that maybe it shuts her up. Oh, it is snowing, which means we can increase the fire. Sweet. That will also increase morale. You're the embodiment of the song Out of Touch. It's not that I'm out of touch as much as it is I've just been really broke for a really long time. Yeah. When it's getting dark, a swarm of hungry birds begins to circle above the camp, hoping there's some treat in your pantry. Damn scroungers. You can't scare them away once and for all to avoid bringing more misfortune to the camp. Instead, you spend half an evening laboriously shaking the branches so the birds finally fly away. I mean, I probably know more World War II songs than I should. More cursed. Davey, what am I clicking on here? Now you need an anthropomorphic steampunk goat to go with your laptop. I actually do have one of those. I was on a stream with someone else, and I cannot remember. Oh, I know, I take that back. It was when I was, it was when I was doing the science fiction edition of Underappreciated 90s. I was trying to get, like, a cyborg goat, and I ended up with some very steampunky looking things. Alright. How to survive. Excellent. I didn't even have to ask. Does anyone know what you can eat in this frosty wilderness, and how to protect yourself from this nightmarish cold? You've already survived like 2 weeks. You already know the answer to this. The locals eat burriettes. From what I know, they eat... Oh, the locals are the evenks and the burriettes. From what I know, they eat stronganina, from which is simply any type of frozen raw meat that can be cut to chips so that it can be chewed. It seems like it'd get really cold very quickly. Should we eat raw meat? It's a fact that Westerners have somehow never gotten used to the indigenous cuisine. Instead, they roll pelmeni? I don't know what that is. With flour, fatty meat, onions, and salt. It's a practical meal. Just cook in a cauldron, and you even have the broth to drink. Great, but where do we get flour and onions here? I guess we'll have to eat this stronganina, if we get the right amount of meat at all. We must hunt something, not only for meat, but also for skins. Cold kills first. If we want to walk in the woods, we need better clothing. I already have given you the top clothing you can get. If we stay in this grove, you have to think about protection against wind, the roof that can withstand the pressure of snow, and the seats of needles, so that we do not get frostbite. You know what? Please, let's gather some fuel at least, or I'm glad you know about hunting. Never eat yellow snow. That is generally a good rule of thumb. Watch out where the huskies go. Don't you eat that yellow snow. What happened to the other people? Did they die? Which other people, Wormy? I'm glad you know about hunting. Now that we have assigned the roles, I hope you will bring something delicious tomorrow. She always manages to say exactly the wrong thing. Prince Charmless, a real lady, rationality, bad apple, or Trans-Siberian Railway. Wormy, are you talking about the first run-through I did? They made it out, though not in great shape. But that was the easiest. Yeah, this is a new game. Yeah, I think it took about 3 days or so, and they got out, but not entirely well, and they... I'm trying to think. I got their little end stories anyway. But that was the easiest, like, quest and the easiest setting. This is the hardest quest on the easiest setting. No, you didn't miss the part where everyone died. You are much, much more likely to see that in this game. The first game I did kind of as a test run to see if the laptop would even run it at all. This one I'm actually trying to see if I can make it through for once. That's all? I could have sworn we prepared much more for dinner. You should be glad we eat something at all. That's some kind of joke. You took a bigger portion again. Not at all, or those who work more eat more. While we're waiting on a choice, do people have any, like, strong feelings about what I play for the first time when I do get the new computer? I'd kind of assumed I'd do Diablo since that was the original desire people had, but I'm willing to change my mind. Let those who work more eat more. Well, that didn't go over well. You probably think you deserve it. You pretend to be overworked, but we only to put our vigilance down. We will divide the food fairly tomorrow. I don't have to listen to these slanders. I was the first who said the portion should be given randomly or according to height. You probably haven't heard because you were sleeping as usual. What rubbish! Everyone suffers from your greed, and it is impossible to sleep. Not only you eat more, but you fart at night. No wind gets from an empty bowl. Oh, I have Detroit. I love that game. I have it on PlayStation, though, I think. I smell better than you, no matter how much I eat. Good lord, they are catfighting worse than Anna and the women ever did. Now we'll see how you smell, giving your portions to the rest. You sound like a Bolshevik and aristocrat at the same time. Because of people like you, there will never be peace in this country. Hee. Wow, that is the most lost points I have ever seen between two people in this. Is it on Steam? Surprised your laptop doesn't just look at Steam the way peasants used to look at witches. Okay, so let me clarify. My regular computer is the one that's 16 years old, and it's the one that's dying. The laptop is my work computer. It was bought literally to do nothing but run Word. And my editing programs. It is not... It has a terrible graphics card. It has basically nothing. It's a shell. It was designed to do editing, and that's it. So, when the computer failed and became totally unreliable, I started having to try and do my streaming on the laptop, and it has not gone well. I have tried very hard to make sure it's not noticeable on the front end, but yeah, there have been so many glitches and errors and failings and crashings and just everything else. Someone tried to send me a podcast the other day to listen to while I was working, and that crashed the laptop. So, yeah. I really need a proper computer. Because this is not supposed to be doing any of this, and it's actually beginning to damage the laptop. Like, my keyboard broke last week. Luckily, I got another one from a friend, but no matter what you say, I'm still going to rip on your laptop. Oh, the laptop absolutely deserves to be ripped on. Like I said, I didn't get it intending for it to do basically anything useful. Hello, I'm back. Have I eaten you yet? No. I actually haven't even seen any sign of you yet. Which is in and of itself unexpected. Okay. I think we're still in the, like, dying of cold stage. It's getting to the point where, like, I'm ending up using half of my actions pretty much every time just to get the snow off everything. Everybody does have coats, though, which is kind of nice. That's because I'm a white bear, so I blend in with the snow. That may be. I haven't seen the wolves yet, though. And honestly, I almost never make it past the wolves. It's not even, Alright, why do you have an upset stomach? Well, that just figures. He heals an upset stomach with vodka. Vodka. I am not surprised. Okay. Let's send out an expedition and see if we can find any more goodies before it gets to the point where we can't travel at all. I'm a little bit tempted. Ooh, we have a hair trap. I'm a little bit tempted to take the snowshoes, but the weather isn't all that bad, so should be fine. Alright, is there anywhere I haven't been yet? The problem is with these guys all over the place, it's not easy to find... Ooh, we haven't been up here at all. So let's head northward. I'm actually sitting right by the fire. You can't see me. That's a shame, because if I were able to skin you while you were sitting right by the fire, then, that would be like all the meat and everything else that I could ever need. Let's set up a trap. Oh, and we have another chance at hunting. I would just look for whatever's free on Steam in general. Well, I mean, I have a couple that were given to me, so they're free to me. Okay, so I missed the stag, and there's absolutely nothing here for resources. Well, that stinks. Except, again, mold, for some weird reason. Yeah. Alright, let's see if we can take another stab at the stag. I think... Yeah. I was gonna say, I think once you... miss it the first time, you really can't do it again that turn. Is there anything... Get Marvel Rivals and get killed with a bunch with zombie? I don't know how I do with Marvel Rivals. I think I would need a much bigger screen. I am looking at getting a new monitor along with everything else, which is one of the reasons the cost was where it was. But yeah, my eyesight is so piss poor that... This brings us back to the I'm old and decrepit. But yeah, is there anything free on Steam that you guys recommend? I don't spend a huge amount of time on Steam, so... Doesn't look like anybody's got any suggestions. Oh, from Steam, Look Outside, excellent cosmic horror RPG. Look Outside is the name of it? What kind of games do you like to play? Honestly, I tend to like a lot of retro games, just because for other people, modern graphics are better, but for me, they're not. I tend to miss things that everyone else sees really easily because I don't see very well for... Probably can't build it up anymore. I don't tend to see things the same way other people do. I'm sort of tunnel vision-y, and I don't see edges well. I was talking about this with someone this morning. So, like, I played Zero Dawn, and the only place I died was that I kept falling off mountains because I couldn't see where the edges were. So it's that kind of thing. Your laptop might be able to handle Magic the Gathering, although some of those cards are pretty intricate. Well, like I said, I am so close to the new computer at this point that my hope is that, you know, a couple of more donations by the end of the week, I'll be picking up the computer this weekend. So that's kind of my fingers crossed, and because the Black Friday sale at Micro Center, which is like, it's like 2 states away from me, but I drive a lot anyway, so so yeah, my hope is that maybe this weekend I'll be able to actually drive to Massachusetts and go pick it up. If you like turn-based strategy, don't mind learning hotkeys, and enjoy a very deep learning curve, Dominion 6 is a great game. I had a notebook I was writing all this stuff down on. What have I done with it? Considering the way things are going these days, it's probably more like, what did my cat do with it? Okay, Dominion 6. Does that mean Dominions 1 through 5 are terrible? What's the cost on Look Outside? I can't look at it while I'm playing this, so... I mean, if it's not, you know, $60 or something, I'm probably could swing it at some point in the near future. I mean, a lot of these, other than like Diablo and the Unnamed Goose Game, a lot of these are going to be games that I am not familiar with simply because I haven't been able to play games in some time. You know, that are more complicated than this. I do hope I'm probably not going to be able to do Marvel Rivals. 10 euros here, so $10. Oh, I mean, if it's 10 euros there, it's probably more like 15 bucks here, but... Magic the Gathering is free. Yeah, it's still Wizards of the Coast, though. I feel about Wizards of the Coast almost like I feel about Amazon these days. What was I saying? I've lost my train of thought. Nope. Gone away. Poof. Brain melted. Needs more coffee. Trans-Siberian Railway. Where are we actually? A real lady? Common sense? Or marauders? What's your pleasure? I want to learn about the Trans-Siberian Railway. Well, we're going to have two, so I will do both of them. I'll do the Trans-Siberian Railway, and then I'll do Where Are We? We are near the rail route. What do you know about it? Maybe something that will be useful in escaping? The steam engine will not start anyway, if that's what you have in mind. No, I mean the route, stations, interesting facts. Even seemingly irrelevant information can be at a premium. The railway route is well over 8,000 versts long. Theoretically, there should be a station every 50 versts, but in the wilderness, we can forget about it. We are behind Baikal, quite close to the border. This part of the tracks was supposed to lead through Manchuria before, but the war with Japan changed the plan. Hard to argue about Wizards of the Woke, but don't give them money. I gave up on Wizards of the Coast before giving up on Wizards of the Coast was cool. When actually, it might have even been before they were Wizards of the Coast. I started on D&D, and then the first time anyone ever introduced me to a different game, I thought, oh, D&D really isn't very good, is it? And I started playing other stuff. And then Wizards of the Coast sued pretty much all the other collectible card companies. It's a little bit like the Nintendo thing now. They got a copyright for something that never should have been copyrighted, and then proceeded to sue all of the other collectible card companies out of business. And I basically wanted nothing to do with them from that point on, so... Here the Taiga people were not employed, but the prisoners were forced to work, and the engineers were brought from China. As you've probably guessed, the work was a hard job for the convicts. They didn't get along with the managers, and they tried to escape to avoid torture. Imagine that. No wonder that the tracks were of low quality, and although the Trans-Siberian Railway was completed several years ago, this section had to be renovated quite recently. Also with the prisoners' hands, although without the Chinese. Alright, well think of the poor souls, but tell me how often the trains run, or where to look for the station. You know, the times are turbulent. Many trains just don't leave. There's often no staff at the stations. In fact, although we are close to the tracks, we might as well be hundreds of versts deep into the taiga. It's just wilderness. Wilderness, and yet they say about the Trans-Siberian Railway that it is the gold buckle of the steel belt of Russia. We expected at least marble stations and gold lace beater here. Well, shoot. Where Are We has apparently gone away. Darn it. Okay. Well, what's your second choice after Where Are We? Common Sense, Bad Dreams, A Real Lady, Bad Apple, Ye Wretched of the Earth. I think I'm out of coffee. That's a shame, because I could really use another cup. I have to say it was kind of a joke, but I really thought when I... Bad apple, okay? I really thought when I started making jokes about the naked goat that, that might coax the last couple of, the last couple of... I talked about it yesterday on the, on Slice and Dice. But... I'm fed up with it. Everything you do gets ruined. You can't do anything right. Huh? Are you talking to me? Of course it's up to you. Who else? Hey, you're teasing me now. Indeed, I can't even listen to you. Enough of jokes. You have to get to work properly. This is not a guest house. We need to take care of fuel, decent wind protection, food, safety, and you either sit by the fire and whine or make something makeshift, after which it needs to be improved. Yeesh. These two are terrible. I'm gonna have to, like, spend the entire next day doing, like, making them get along. I'm doing my best. It's your problem. You're always dissatisfied and you have to move, adjust, untie, and tie something again. Why has my fate punished me with such a company? I have never had Camp Morale take that much of a dive this late in the game. Oh my. Oops. Let's drop that right back down again. So this up here means that the renegades are really near the camp, and your visibility has to be lower than it normally would be, because otherwise you get found out. Oops. Apparently I hit the wrong... I done hit a wrong button. Luckily everyone's still eating really well. I think I probably am going to get to the point soon where I have to go back to feeding them, like, more garbagey stuff. But at this point, morale is getting so bad that... Alright, so it's these two. You two, get along. Make nice. Man, both of them have the pacifist thing, but they have not been pacifisty at all. I don't know what's going on. Okay, that's a little better. I know I really shouldn't do this because I need the moves, but I need them to get along even more. Okay, Camp Morale is now where it properly should be. This dude is gonna fix up the campsite. Not enough character. Oh, whoops. Thought I'd moved him over already. So what else do we think would make good games? Has everyone seen the Unnamed Goose Game? I'm just curious. Uh-oh, that was a lot of ticking. That suggests something went wrong. She got a head wound, and he got cut. What the heck were you two doing? It's like... Head wound, Wound dressing, wound dressing. They both got head cuts. How did they both manage to bang their head at the same time? Alright. So, this is gonna be a waste. She needs, a wound dressing. I do like the fact it actually shows, like, a bandage on their head after they do wound dressing. It only lasts for, like, a day, but I kind of think it's interesting. And she needs to make a bandage. Which she can then put on him for free action. And he can dress his own head wound. Wow, between the needing to get along and people smacking their heads on things, that was not a productive day. Let's hope tomorrow is better. It was a fast day, though. Okay, here we go. Now is where it gets bad. Kermoda Bear, this is where you start showing up. From a grove on a nearby hill, you hear the sound of a broken branch and a murmur, as if an animal were tearing through the thicket. You sneak between the snowdrifts to crowd it, but suddenly, from the bosque emerges a man. It's one of the renegades. At first, you hide behind a tree and look around whether there's more of his companions nearby. But the thug is alone. What's more, he seems to be in a terrible state. His weather-beaten face is obscured by a nearly severed scalp. His right arm is unnaturally hanging, the snow-covered clothes are torn in a few places. He lumbers to your camp and lies down on the warm ground. "Vanya! Styopa! Is that you?" he cries, as if not really knowing into which camp he's stumbled. You leave your hiding places to silence him. Your companions are not here, but you'll probably meet pretty soon in hell. The thug takes a minute to understand his situation and bursts into tears. "In the name of Saint Eustace, let me live. I'm innocent. They forced me." "Stop those lamentations. You're always innocent, and the train blew itself up. I beg you, show mercy. I can pay you. I won't escape divine punishment anyway. I fear death so much. Your hands are itching to repay him for all he's done, but for your preparing water to clean his wounds, it's a perfect opportunity to get some information. It was a Shatun, evil spirit cursed by God in the taiga. Relax, tell us everything." The thug introduces himself as Antonelli. Apparently, he was facing the gallows for desertion, so he joined the gang of one Yegor, an old doctor who'd escaped from a labor camp. Yegor planned a train heist, and then intended to do some business with smugglers from Manchuria, but they are over a week late. Recently, some of the renegades fell sick. They have a high fever and vomit, so Yegor ordered his men to collect some golden root to create a healing brew. It's a punishment from heavens, I know this. But the plague was just the beginning. We split up to find the herb, and we got attacked by Caraguso, the killer bear. Antonelli's wounds indeed suggest he was mangled by a huge beast. His arm is hanging on by a few strands of muscle, and when you pull up his sheepskin coat, you can see deep cuts across his back. But the bandit behaves as if he wasn't hurt at all. Instead, he keeps talking a mile a minute. The eternal vagabond, he follows the trail of the man, lies in wait, attacks suddenly. A black ghost who can never find peace. I escaped from him, but Baldi got torn to pieces. It won't let me leave the valley. So what do we think? Dress the bandit's wounds? Ask more about his meeting with the bear? Ask about the rest of his gang? I totally forgot that on top of the wolves and the bear, you have to deal with the plague. I had completely forgotten about that point. What do we think, folks? Ask about the bear, of course. It was not far from here, just a few versts to the north. The Shatoon appeared out of nowhere. It just jumped from between the trees. I tried to shoot it, but the black one can't be hit. The bullet got stuck in the cartridge. The bear got baldy, and it looked as if it just stroked him, but the neck crunched, and Bori's head danced the not gonna try and pronounce that. The bear then jumped to me, and all went red. When I came to life, Shatoon was taking Baldy's corpse between the snowdrifts, so I just ran away without looking back. But Karaguso never gives up. Antonelli looks for a moment into the void and then starts panicking. He's already marked me. Even in Manchuria he'll get me. I beg you, kill him. Or ask him to let me be. Can you hear him panting? Relax, it's just the wind among the branches. Don't get up or you'll open the wounds. The black beast brings death, and for death it's looking. Other bears sleep, but for it, that's forbidden. It'll follow my trail here. We have to run. The renegade starts crawling towards a tree, and he barely lifts himself up, leaning on his knees. The infected wounds must have already caused a fever, and he cannot think straight. Are we dressing the bandit's wounds, or asking about the rest of his gang? I mean, the upside is everyone's still alive at this point. I think I've actually had games where I didn't even make it to this point with everybody alive. What are we thinking? Wounds? Gang. I just timed it. We have about a 20-second lag, which I think is... I think within the normal range, but I'm not thrilled. Makes it kind of difficult. It's been 15 seconds, and even that was kind of... Antonelli is panicking for a longer while. He's looking everywhere around, falling to the ground, crawling in random directions. He's talking nonsense, unable to understand your questions, until he asks for a moment of sleep. You know he won't wake up from it. You don't feel sorry for the thug, and inside you're even glad you were spared a decision whether to kill him or save. Bury him or throw him into the ravine. The YouTube latency is really high. I miss Microsoft's streaming service. It was usually around 3 to 5 seconds. Wow. I know several people that stream on Rumble, and the lag there sometimes is about the same time as YouTube, and sometimes is worse. He does not deserve to be buried. Antonelli died as awfully as he lived, and no one will shed a tear for him. You regret only one thing, that nothing from his ragged and bloodied clothes or muddy foot wraps can be used. The body rolls into the snowy abyss, and you have time to confer. I don't think we'll be missing Antonelli all that much. Especially since the Shatoon could actually follow him. But bears are supposed to be sleeping this time of year. They should, but we did see that man's wounds. They were not made by Wolverine. Shatoon is the name of a bear which didn't manage to eat enough, and thus woke up from its slumber, or never even fell asleep. It's probably furious. If it ate that second renegade, maybe it'll be full. Let's hope so, although I feel a beast like that needs to eat much more to prepare for hibernation. You know what they say about animal man-eaters? That if they tried human meat even once, they won't ever want to eat anything else. Alexei, you have to study more encyclopedias and less adventure novels. I'm not lying. Science knows such cases. Okay, you guys decide what you want for the next one. I will be right back. I need to refill my cup. Apologies for the delay, folks. Apparently all the noise I kept hearing from out in the other room was the house bunny being Very, very naughty. And destroying many, many things. You'd think that rabbits would not be quite so destructive or rotten. You'd be wrong. I see somebody had to leave. I'm so sorry I didn't get to say goodbye. Yeah, cell phones are terrible, but our sleep patterns were awful even before that. Alright, Eraserhead says bad dreams. Sergi, you were screaming in your sleep. I'm sorry, I'm better now. Everything's alright. Next time, stay quiet, or have you had a bad dream? Are we just sticking with the bad dreams? I'm not getting any answers. Probably because I was gone for too long. I'm sorry. I do notice I lost a whole bunch of people trying to go deal with that. Stay quiet, we don't want to hear about it unless it's about that super cool bear. Damn it, be quiet or you will attract the attention of the renegades or predators. It's easy for you to say, you didn't experience what I did. Gas, I can still see the faces of the victims. The trenches were hell. It happened and it is over now. Why dwell on it? We live here and now. Yes, in fact, it's not so bad in your company. Is Sergi flirting with him? Camp morale did go down some, though. That's too bad. Spark shot from the campfire and the fallen needles of our shelter caught the flame in an instant. Quick action saves you from tragedy. Unfortunately, extinguishing the flame with snow violates the structure. If you don't want your den to fall apart soon, you will have to deal with its arduous repair. Oh, I meant to ask, the measurement that they keep using, Versa or something like that, could somebody look that up? I'm curious as to what that actually translates to. And let's have him do some repairs. Ooh, that was quick. Oh, hey, apparently I have a side quest. I did not realize that. Alright. Let's see. Let's build a fire up first. Can I build this up high enough without it? Yeah, okay. That shouldn't get too much attention. We'll make sure everybody is fed and watered. And then we are going to send them off to do the side quest. I don't know what that was, but irritated that it got wasted. Sergi can't go anywhere. So we're going to have him dry the last of the mushrooms. Okay. Expedition. We are almost out of arrows, because this has been really terrible hunting. I think I'm going to take on the fox before I go for the side quest, which is probably a terrible idea. Oh, I actually managed to kill it. Who would have guessed? Ooh, I got bugs. Just what I always wanted. Verse. An obsolete Russian unit of distance. Conversion, it roughly equals 1 kilometer or half a mile. So if there were supposed to be stations every 50 verse, it would be a little over 25 miles? That seems very close together. You know the hill with 3 larches well. You've been more than once in this area looking for firewood, and the hill is a great orientation point. There's a spruce grove behind it, where Antonelli and his companions were attacked. Can the bear still be around? With your heart in your mouths, you march across the snowdrift, because the equipment left behind by the renegades is probably worth the risk. Though the snow covered the tracks by now, you see a murder of crows above the trees and realize it's where Baldy's corpse has got to be. Carefully, you move through the thicket, following the sounds of the birds. Meanwhile, wind is getting stronger and brings a dense wall of snow. The trees are giving some protection from the blizzard, but the whistling of the wind is disorienting. You walk a few dozens of fathoms, not sure if the ravens are still in front of you or if you've lost your way and are now too far from them. You stop so that the snow stops creaking underneath your feet and start listening. A crack of the frozen trees, the murmur of the fallen snow, a whistle of a faraway gale. Suddenly you hear the flutter of wings and cawing. Something made the murder of crows take flight. You know which way to go, but maybe it would be better to go back? What do you think? Walk towards the ravens, or the bear bite might be nearby? We turn back. How eager are we to meet the bear? Do we just want to hear about the super cool bear, or do we want to meet it up close and personal? Gotta hop on a call, so entering lurk mode. So, the bear leaves chat just about the time that the actual bear shows up in the game. Ravens enjoy carrion, as do bears. Walk towards the ravens. Alright, ravens it is. You peek through the trees, and at the bottom of a narrow ravine, you see a huge, hairy bulk. Your heart starts beating faster, but you soon realize it's not a bear, but a wolverine. At first glance, it's hard to identify the remains on which it's gnawing, but your imagination suggests many possibilities. Could Anatoly be wrong and the wolverine was the terrifying Karagaru? No, this animal would not be able to dismember the other renegade. Probably the smell of the remains left by the bear attracted its attention. Now it's greedily chasing away crows while nibbling the meat from Baldy's detached arm. Not far from the deceased, you see his pouch and rifle. Are we waiting until the wolverine goes away, or trying to scare it? I don't remember either of these responses, so I don't know what the correct one is. Or if there is a correct one, we may already be screwed. Who knows? Like I said, the wolves come before the bear, and the wolves have been known to clean me out long before the bear got here. You guys make better decisions than I do so far, so. Except for making Sergi fight with everyone. Try to scare it. The wolverine ran away the moment it became aware of your presence. Quite a strange behavior. Usually these animals fight fiercely for their prey. Maybe it was already stuffed? You take the valuable things from the bottom of the ravine, trying not to look at the chewed remains, and retreat. A flutter of birds awaiting their turn bids you farewell. Ooh! That's all sorts of stuff. Alright. gonna check our trap while we're here. And try hard not to get eaten by a bear. Alright, return to camp. So, these guys leaving, the reason they're leaving is because the bear has chased them out of the area. You find out later that it's killed so many of them that they just up and leave. Our bear would be very proud. Oh, she did say she was on it. Why the heck is Anna? I don't know. She's such a terrible person through most of this game that once in a great while she gets better and she like gets to the point where she's, you know, nice to people and cooks and sews and things and stuff like that, but it's rare, and this does not seem like it's going to be one of those games. Oh, I bet it's the berries that went bad. Yeah, it's the berries that went bad. I think I have to save the golden root, because I think when the plague hits, that's pretty much like the only thing that works for making it better. I should make some soup. We haven't had soup in ages. I can even make delicious soup. I hope I didn't just use up all the water. I don't actually remember what we had for water. Oh, we still have like 14 water left. No issues there. Alright, on to day 18. So, the longest this game runs is day 28. The last game ended on day 24. So, we may be coming near to the end here, one way or another. Common sense. Where are we actually? A real lady? Marauders? Ye wretched of the earth. The lag is definitely worse than it was earlier. Isn't that exciting? I was having this conversation on Twitter, and somebody made a joke about the fact that I needed to, pick more fights in order to... Or how was I ever going to get my, interactions if I didn't, pick more fights? And I said, like, yeah, that obviously doesn't matter to me much. Have you seen my subscriber count? And what I meant was my YouTube subscriber account. But I can't help but notice that ever since I mentioned that, I've had like 4 people follow me on Twitter in like the last hour. Common sense. Excellent. When we were escaping from the train, Gregory, I thought your legs were crushed, and you just gritted your teeth and pulled them out from between the doors. It hurt, I don't deny it, But I knew if I didn't get out quickly, it would be all over for me. Many would have lost consciousness from pain. But I lost it only earlier. I admit I drank a bit that morning. A coincidence. But if it hadn't been for that, maybe I wouldn't have been able to get out of the train wreck. Vodka makes an excellent liquid painkiller. Fate seems to favor you, or more luck than judgment. Common sense is neither. You also notice that our drunk, has developed more and more of a beard. Actually, both the guys who didn't start with beards have begun to develop them. Though I have to say, not very much of one, considering they've been here for, what did I say, 14 days? More luck. More luck than judgment. Such always succeed. But you have to admit it, that vodka, despite being a poison, also has its advantage. Oh yes, and we can't just drink it down. It will be useful for disinfecting wounds, or preparing healthy tinctures, or for indigestion problems. You say as if we still had supplies. Just look at what I found in the chest of a first-class car. Well, well, and is this chest far away? I will find my way even when sober. Where are we actually? The Gold Buckle, a real lady, marauders, and ye wretches of the earth. Or wretched, I'm sorry, ye wretched of the earth. I'm trying to remember. There's something about that chest that I did ages ago. There's something weird about that quest, and I can't think what it is. So what's our choice? Where are we actually? The Gold Buckle, a real lady, marauders, ye wretched of the earth. The Gold Buckle. I just realized that Hanayama-san, has not, made a whole lot of comments recently. Has he left? It's unusual for him to be so quiet. Why is this section of the route called the Gold Buckle? Is it just a poetic term for the picturesque surrounding? Probably simply because this section connects the tracks on both sides of the lake. Earlier, the cars were transported by ferry, or when Baikal froze, by sleigh. Well, I understand that this is the buckle of the Russian belt, but why gold? Maybe some treasures are being extracted in the area after all? Maybe our attackers have something to do with this. I don't know. This is where the deportees were sent, maybe to work in the mines? But it said more about gold in the north, in the Lena Delta. You must have heard about the strike of workers from the Lynx deposits, where the military policemen showed exceptional cruelty. This information was probably blown up, or indeed it is a tragic episode. Tragic episode, okay? Indeed, it's a tragic episode. I don't know much about it, but it was probably mentioned in the newspapers that the mine manager went to court. He did, but got away. They will not condemn their own people, and life cannot be returned to the workers anyway. Under the Tsar's rule, the work of mining golden sand was the worst torture. Let's hope it will change. My goodness, they said something nice to each other. Okay. Day 19. The night was terrible. First you were being tortured by ghastly dreams. Then you were woken up by severe pain in the stomach, which would not let you fall asleep again until morning. Is this the aftermath of the indigestible Siberian diet? You feed on roots here, and moss, and strange mushrooms. And when you finally manage to get some meat, it's either charred or half raw. But so far, your gut had no problem with any of it. In the morning comes a momentary relief when you simply vomit out your stomach contents. However, it doesn't bode well. You're spitting out a lot of blood. These are no longer symptoms of indigestion or hunger. Did Anatoly gift you a virus which had previously thinned the rank of the renegades? As if you weren't miserable enough. Damn it all, if it's not the bear, it's another syphilis. Even though you feel warm, you get goosebumps, and your body is beginning to shiver. Alright, somebody is sick. Yeah, so if you don't... This is like the side quest. If you don't fix it up real quick, they die. Like, real quick. So, antidotes. I don't remember what is needed for the antidote. And I'm probably going to need a bunch of them. Antidote. Oh, luckily I seem to have a bunch of them. I was afraid some of them are dependent on how much vodka you have. And I think I stashed a fair number this time. But I wasn't sure it was going to be enough. But it turns out it's water, so we're good. I don't want to make too many ahead, though, because I think they spoil, if I remember correctly. Okay, so... eat while we still can. And we've only got 2 that are thirsty. Oh, but apparently he was very thirsty. Alright. Chest with supplies in the car. It's kind of weird that it's not next to the wreck, but we'll see what we can do. This one did not go off automatically. That's weird. You reach the place pointed out by Grisha, the way he evacuated himself from the train when the renegades were killing off the survivors. It's a grim place, but you know that in one of the nearby snowdrifts there was a chest with alcohol, and in these conditions alcohol is at a premium. There has been a lot of snow since the disaster, but Gregory's directions are amazingly accurate, and finding the chest shouldn't be difficult. So, despite the frost, we are looking for a chest in fresh snowdrifts, or this is drunken foolishness. It is not worth wasting time. How much do we love our booze? I mean, to be fair, it was first-class vodka. Yeah, we made the antidote. I can't remember. Sometimes it hits every couple turns, and sometimes it's, not bad at all. Despite the frost. So we know Ben has a thing for vodka. One of the snowdrifts has a suspiciously regular shape. You sweep away the dense snow with a few energetic swings. Unexpectedly, a loud whistle sounds. The mass of white snow rises into the air and the forest turns upside down. It is only after a moment you realize what has happened. Someone hid a large trap in the snowdrift, which luckily has caught you. This is certainly the work of the renegades. The bastards left the empty chest and damaged chest as a bait. Or the empty and damaged chest as a bait. After freeing your leg, you take the remains of the snares and a few boards from the chest. Poor compensation for a sprained ankle. I knew there was something about that chest that I couldn't remember what it was. Well, the upside is these dudes are all gone. So, let's see what we can find in the areas we couldn't get to before. Nothing there. Not much there. Guess I didn't miss much. Ammo with no guns. Alright, back to camp we go. Yeah, I agree. Poop. I think with the Renegades gone, we don't have to worry about the visibility much now. I also think I had a limb brace from something else. I did, right there. I already had a limb brace, so that's handy. I guess do some repairs. Come on. Other people only disturb me at work. Oh, I understand that feeling so well. Wonderful, he picked up pine cones. Yeah, let's do the snares. We haven't done this yet. Wow, he likes her a lot. She does not like him at all. I feel like that tells us something. She does like working with others, though. Apparently, even that guy. She is kind of high and mighty, so... I like others seeing that I'm doing a good job and giving me... Whoops, shoot. That was... not what I meant to do. Oh well, I guess we now have a very secure medical center. Alright, more decisions coming up. The Russian word for bear, I think that's supposed to be is a euphemism. Previously, the honey eater was referred to differently, but it was believed that saying the name would summon the beast from the forest. In Moscow, you would have been laughing at superstitions such as these, but in the cold taiga, where one is living next door to death, you no longer find such things funny. Although after Anatoly's death, the topic of the Shatoon was ever present on the tips of your tongues. You'd always bite them, not wanting to tempt the fate. Perhaps there was a grain of truth in the old tales. Maybe if you don't discuss it, the problem will solve itself. With nightfall comes the sound you've never heard before, neither howling or whining or growling. They are accompanied by the murmur of the branches being broken and bark being ripped off trees. Kara Garuso, one of you whispers unwittingly, remembering what the panicked bandit said. A black beast, cursed by men, God, and the tundra. Grim Reaper and anger go with it arm in arm because the creature knows it won't live to see the spring. The noise comes from the grove to the east, not in the immediate vicinity of camp, but dangerously close anyway. This is not a problem you can ignore. Someone has to say something. The bear is not full yet, and it's coming closer to the camp. Maybe it followed Anatoly's trail, maybe the whole valley is its territory. We have enough weapons to defeat it. Only if it attacks the whole group. Wild animals never get close to the fire, So we're probably safe in camp. But it's bad when it comes traveling through the taiga. The thought of going alone and unarmed is terrifying. And if it all continues like this, the Shatoon will scare away all the game. We have to find a way to escape. Anatoly said the railroad tracks are covered in snow, and it's impossible to walk on foot to the station, and the train... Pardon me. The train won't be here anytime soon, either. Yegor's people were planning on moving south. But there's dense thicket there, and you have to know the passes and paths beaten by animals. We are still the prisoners of the taiga. Thus, we're risking starving to death. When it seems we finally managed to free ourselves from the renegades, Siberia sends us an even worse misfortune. I repeat, we can do it. We've survived so much, we won't let some animal defeat us. Fighting renegades was hard, and there was a lot of them, and they had rifles. But the bear is alone. Even if it is a mad man-eater. The size of an automobile. With paws like axes. Now I sort of, too, am starting to have some doubts. Enough! You're right. We can face it! We have to prepare decent traps. Best if they were made with some pieces of the train. And we have to lure the Shatoon with meat. Even if we use our last reserves for that, it's either it or us. We need something sharp for a bastard like this. A boar, or rather bear, spear. We did consider some time ago making a harpoon for fishing. I think we simply need a few similar spears. More grinding awaits us tomorrow. The Russian word for bear starts with the word for honey. Huh. Actually, or you're just messing with me? That is interesting. Like Ursa is the only other bear word I know other than, bear. Alright, Prince Charmless, a real lady. Plague, marauders, or where are we actually? I think this is the only decision we have to make this day. What do you think, folks? Otherwise, I'm just going to pick Plague. Prince Charmless. Okay. I've completely lost my taste. Everything here tastes disgusting. Well, Siberian cuisine. You get used to it. At the court of the prince, it would probably be tastier, but the company would be more boring. Don't remind me of this creature again. I wonder what a roast of the prince himself would taste like, or did he disgust you so much, miss? Medved, bear, med, honey. Huh, okay. Interesting. So, we're roasting the prince, or asking her about why he was so terrible? I think for those of you that watched the last game, we did the roast of Prince. I don't think we did the other one, but I don't know how many of you watched the other game, so. I mean, they're both about the prince, so. Are we going for the roast of Prince, Ben? Is that the decision? Make the assumption. I wonder what a roast of the prince himself would taste like. Please don't say such atrocities. Come on, it's just an innocent joke. Nose up. You've reached the other end of Russia. The prince will not catch you here. And roasting the passengers is stupid anyhow. I'm begging you, Alexei. Okay, let's get back to the cultural chats. Why did you travel so far? After all, this is not a place for a young aristocrat. Auntie decided we must run. As far as Shanghai, and not from the prince, but on the contrary. The Tsar was imprisoned and the workers and sailors were demonstrating in the capital. I don't know why. It was as if the war bypassed the front and came to the city. Mr. Kerensky was supposed to defend us against the Bolsheviks, but he armed them. General Kornilov was to come to the rescue, and now they say he's a German spy. I don't understand politics. I don't know what my fault is and why the world is suddenly turned upside down. Auntie didn't explain anything to me, I'm afraid. Poor thing. Now these great affairs are far away from us. Everything is simpler in the forest. Maybe it's even safer. Oh, that ended much better than I thought it was going to. Do we roast the artist formerly known as Prince as well? Okay. A hawk took the easy way out, and instead of hunting something, it decided to steal a hare from your trap. As soon as you saw this, you rushed to chase the robber away, but it managed to tear the snares apart severely. The good news is, you have the hare. The bad news is, the traps placed by the palisade barely hold on. There's somewhere between 5 and 7 days left at this point. My voice is beginning to get a little crackly, and I'm not sure I can get through all of that. And if I keep going any more, then it's going to make the next session awfully short. So I think I am going to end it here, and we'll have one more session to finish up later. 3 sessions seems to be about what it takes for these, so. I want to thank everyone for being here. I know people kind of bopped in and out. I hope you had at least a little bit of a good time making fun of bears and the various terrible, terrible people that are taking part in this game. I appreciate the jokes. I appreciate the humor and keeping me company in general. And I hope that I will finish this off tomorrow. There we go. Quieter. I hope I will finish this off tomorrow, just because, you know, then we get into holidays. I know a lot of you do not celebrate Thanksgiving, but I do. So, I am also going... That's the other thing. I am going to be on Zach's show tomorrow night. In a fit of complete insanity, I agreed to be on his channel, which doesn't even start until 10 o'clock for me tomorrow, which means it's going to be like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. before I get done, which was a terrible move on my part. So there will have to be a nap during my day tomorrow, and lots of Red Bull. Thank you, Ben. Yes, the bear returned just in time. So there's going to be one more bear session. The bear is sneaking around the camp, but has not actively eaten anyone yet. So anyway, we do still have the Give, Send, Go going. I hope to have it closed out by the end of the week. I would very much like to drive to Massachusetts this weekend and pick up my computer. If it is in fact closed out, probably by the end of today or tomorrow, I will do the very long naked goat stream, the Lady Goat Diva stream, so as we were saying. And nom nom nom, take care, goat. Yes, thank you very much for being here. Eraser, can you throw that link up one more time for me? And especially once it's done, Rachel does still need assistance. B-Sides does still need assistance. I know it's hard with the holidays coming, but I hope people will keep them in their thoughts. Share if you don't have the means to assist them. Every little bit counts. And like I said, I will be on Zach's tomorrow. I think most of you, that will be far too late a time zone to listen, but I will be there nonetheless. And yeah, and then it will be Thanksgiving. So I hope if I don't see people in the meantime, happy Thanksgiving for those of you that celebrate, and happy Thursday for those of you that don't. Yes, thank you very much, Eraser. Um, I will probably close out the fundraiser about, I don't know, $70 from now. If it doesn't go more than that, it'd be nice to hit like 170 just so I had, some leeway, but definitely it definitely soon. Um, there's a couple of things that I could use, but I can survive without. So yes, support B-roll, support Rachel, and many goats to everyone. Either way, I will hope to see you tomorrow. I will definitely see everybody at some point before the end of the week, I'm sure. And hopefully by Monday, we will be streaming from the brand new computer system. So, everyone have a wonderful day and happy headbutting.